Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Cobre, a couple that loves to play board games.
Like these ones!
Wow, where did they all come from?
Gen Con. So we are back from Gen Con. We have celebrated Tyler's beloved 30th birthday. In case you haven't seen that video, look at the video behind this.
Giveaway.
And now we're here to talk to you about our experience with Gen Con. All the games that we brought back, all the games that we saw and are excited for in the future.
And some moomadoos.
And some memories that we've made with our beloved friends and new friends and mortal enemies.
Oh.
Which one's the mortal enemy? Up to you to find out.
Or maybe we just don't have any.
Speak for yourself.
Oh.
So this video is exactly that. We're going to go over all the games that we got at Gen Con. Then we're going to talk about all the games that we saw at Gen Con but we did not get.
Yes.
Maybe they're future
for
releases.
Various reasons.
Maybe they're already games we have.
Or they were sold out.
And last but not least, we'll talk about the memories and all the fun stuff we made on the way.
Yeah.
And how magic blew Tyler's mind.
Magic did blow my mind.
But stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's jump right on into it. Now, we're going to do this the good old chaotic fashion style, where we will give you a brief description, whatever we feel like talking about the game, what inspired us to maybe pick it up, or what we're... just anything that's on our mind, really.
Yeah, that.
And in no particular order, too. Chaos.
Let's do it.
Okay, Tyler, kick it off.
Which one do I start with? That's not a hat. Because this is indeed not a hat. It's a lava lamp. This is a pop culture version of That's Not a Hat. So it's basically just a sequel. We really enjoy That's Not a Hat, so picking this one up just made sense.
And now we get to do it in pop culture style.
Maybe I'll be better at this one than I am at the other one.
Maybe. Now, what I was excited about was Jekyll versus Hyde Scotland Yard. Now, this is a 2-player only game, and we played Jekyll versus Hyde, and this one introduces the Scotland Yard element of it. So it kind of takes those two combinations, puts them on their head, and we love 2-player games, so I'm very excited to play this one.
That one just makes sense.
Sure does.
The next game we'll talk about is the one that I'm leaning on. It's called Katamino Tower.
Katamino.
Katamino Tower. It is a puzzle game that you can play really with as many players. It says 1 to 2, but you can work together to figure it out. There's like 44,000 solutions in this thing, and basically you're just trying to make a perfect cylinder. If you've played Katamino, it's just a 3D version of this essentially. A lot of fun, a lot of puzzle, and we'll probably have it by one of our desks, honestly, because it's a good little like mind break.
It's a cylinder.
And you can get trapped in trying to figure out the puzzle.
They're really fun. I really like the original Katamino, so it's very cool
Katamino
to see it in that style. Now, the next two games we're going to talk about is the new box size from Allplay. And we have Fairy and we have Panda. Now, Fairy is really cool because the way you keep score is you hold the scoring card and where your thumb is, that's the score. And all you do is you do little hand gestures. You can catch the Fairy and you just predict what the next card is going to be. It's really fun. We played it a few times actually at Gen Con, which was a blast.
Yep, exactly.
And then Panda is a remake of a Japanese game. I forget the title. But the artist is the same, so that's really exciting. And it's basically a card game where you're trying to win with your winning hand. Yeah. And you either discard cards or draw cards and try to trick everybody with your Panda.
Which to talk about next. Turnip! This is a quick and easy bluffing game for the whole family. It may or may not say that on the back of this box. But that's exactly what it is. You're trying to bluff your way through telling everybody how many turnips you're basically going to be planting. And you want to do so because the more turnips you have, the more points you'll be able to collect from everybody at the end of the season.
It's funny because you say turn up.
Yeah, you can call people's bluffs. So that's always fun because, yeah, you get to yell turn up at them.
And the art in this game is unreal.
Beautiful.
Unreal.
Yes, this one is a lot of fun.
Now, it wouldn't be a Gen Con if we didn't pick up the next Oink game, which in this case is Moving Wild. Who doesn't want to move some animals and make sure that they score you the most points?
Build some habitats.
By being in the right habitat and not being grumpy or hangry.
Or hangry. Or upset with, what
Upset.
other animals that you put
They
in.
can only be by themselves. They'll score the points. Fun little drafting game. Really cool layout once it's all hits the table.
Oh yeah, very, very colorful.
Yay, Oink Games.
Oink Games. Speaking of habitats, we're going to take a look at Spectacular. You are basically creating a park filled with a bunch of different animals. It's like a very fast drafting game with tiles and dice, and you're going to want to place them in specific ways so you could score yourself points, combo off like almost King Domino style, and it's meaty but plays very quickly, which I love about it.
And plays up to 6 players. I will say this was probably the game I was most excited about at Gen Con.
It did not disappoint.
We've played it at Gen Con and here multiple times both. So it's definitely, it's up there.
Spectacular.
It's spectacular, one can say.
Whoa.
Now the next games I'm going to talk about are Witness. So initially, I didn't know too much about these. But when I heard the spiel, I got very excited.
The Pegasus spiel?
The Pegasus spiel.
Nice.
Now, the way this game works is it's a 4-player only game where there's a sequence of kind of mini games that you'll go through, and in each of the rounds, you'll be whispering to each other.
Yeah, it's like telephone.
It's like a game of telephone, essentially, because you'll have a clue, you'll whisper it, and then that person will whisper their clue and the clue that you've heard, and then you'll all collectively obtain information.
Yes.
And at the very end of all 4 rounds of whispering, you'll frantically write down notes from what you remember in your brain.
And hope you all got it right.
And at the end, there's questions that are asked.
Pop quiz.
And if all of you get it right, you'll score more points.
That's
we
true.
played with Monique and Naveen, and they've actually played the original version of this. So it was really cool to experience all of that. And I will say we did not do well.
No, we did not.
I was definitely the weak link.
Combined with also Gen Con and like the exhibit hall being like louder, I think that it added to the fun of the game, but it also added to the difficulty of the game.
I would play again, and I'm very excited because it's a story. The
Yeah.
old version was apparently a bunch of like separate scenarios, where here it's a continuation. So we got to learn about some cool. We played this one, the Sigma Club,
I was just gonna say,
and I will say it was a little bit dark. Some shady stuff has gone on.
Well, yeah. What's this one? It says fight crime together, so obviously some shady stuff are gonna go down.
So these are the adventures of Witness.
That's 3 of them. Next up, we have Rebel Princess. This is a game that if you've played Hearts, you'll love. It's a trick-taking game where the theme is absolutely amazing because you are essentially trying to not take any proposals as a princess because you
No
get
proposals.
no proposals. And the fun part about this is there's a bit of asymmetry that goes along with it because you
Player
can
powers.
play different princess powers, which are a lot of fun to activate, and it's just your classic traditional trick-taking game with a bit of a twist, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's Hearts Plus, and the theme is fantastic, and there's a lot to love in this game.
And the Queen of Spades, for those of you who are familiar with Hearts, is actually the green frog, the frog prince, and he gives you a lot of proposals.
A lot of proposals.
He's kind of needy in that way.
Exactly.
Rebel Princess.
Now, you may have heard In the Footsteps of Darwin, where we're here with In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. Now, I will let Tyler explain this game because I have not played and he has.
Well, In the Footsteps of Marie Curie is based on Marie Curie, who discovered radium. And this game is really interesting because you'll be working through different, a timeline of the discovery where you'll be combining different resources to create different ways to score points. You'll be building your science lab so you can get more value out of everything. And essentially it's a tight resource management game about Marie Curie.
The cool part about this game is there's a tower that you put cubes
Yes.
in, and you don't always get the cubes that come out because they get stuck in the tower.
Yes.
So later when the other player drops them in, you can get more cubes and more resources, and it's a blast.
Exactly. Which actually is a good transition to the next game that we could talk about, and that would be Marrakesh, because it also has a tower. We got the Camels and Nomads expansion, we also got the Essentials edition, and basically Well, this game is kind of a beast. I don't really know how to like
It's a
properly
Stefan Feld game.
properly capture this in a quick way. But there's a lot of stuff going on. The neat thing about this is you will be dropping cubes through the tower, and based on what cubes come out, it actually like will help you at deciding what actions you're gonna be able to take, what actions you'll be able to utilize. So it's very strategic, but also has that like twist of randomness. I'm not 100% sure what the camels and nomads add, but I'm very excited to add it to Marrakesh because we got to play this at the board game ranch.
Tyler got to play at the board game ranch, and I have not, and I'm very excited to play it.
Yeah. So, yay!
That.
So many games!
Now, the next one I'll talk about is River Valley Glasswork with a little expansion. Now, I'm very excited about this because we got to play the prototype, and we actually made a how to play video all the way back in January, I believe.
Way back.
Right after PAX Unplugged when we first saw about this game. Matt Riddle, Adam Hill, and Ben Finchback are amazing. We got to meet two of them.
Yes!
Which is sad because we didn't end up catching Matt Riddle. And they're fantastic, lovely humans, and this game really captures their essence. It's a fantastic, lovely game with lots of replayability, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to play the final version. And try out the expansion because we haven't tried it yet.
We have not.
So, River Valley Glassworks.
Next game we're going to talk about is staring me right in the eyes, and it's called Task Team. This is a fun little party game. It plays... What is it? How many people does it play up? It says 3 to 18. Am I reading that right? Wow.
3 to 18.
But essentially, this is a party game where you'll be working in teams to try and complete tasks and score the most points. But the neat thing about this game is all the tasks, I can give you like a variety of what's going to be happening, but you'll be like stacking dice one task, and then you'll be playing hide and go seek the next task. It's very, very random what the tasks are. There's tops that come in the game, there's cards, there's dice, there's a measuring tape for a variety of different things.
To see who's closer.
And there's a bunch of fun tasks that are associated with it that just like, I'm really excited to make some content about this game and just be silly with making some fun little shorts about the tasks.
If you or your friends enjoy Taskmaster, this is the game for you.
Yeah.
It definitely has a little bit of everything.
Task Team!
Next up, I will talk about Astra. Now, Tyler got to play this, and I have not yet.
I've actually only played this on BGA.
So I've been really wanting to try it. I think it's gorgeous. It looks a lot up my alley from what I know about it. And I'm excited to tell you more once I get to play it and experience it.
It's fun because you get to basically create a bunch of constellations, and those constellations can like combo off. But the way that the constellations are created are like publicly. And then you're almost fighting for like area majority. It's interesting, and I'm excited for you to play it.
I'm excited to play it as well.
The next one we will talk about is Loot.
No, it's Looot.
Loot with three W's.
Three W's.
Where are the W's? Who knows?
W's are weird.
It's actually Loot with 3 shields. Because the symbol is really
the theme
cool.
Vikings?
It is a Viking themed game.
Oh.
But if you're familiar with Acropolis, this is like the game that is like not its successor, but comes after it kind of thing.
Ancient Greece, then Vikings.
Yeah, who knew? But it's basically a interesting game where you're going to be like landing on one side of this island or like field of coast, I guess is the best way to describe it. And then you're all moving inwards, trying to basically area control, area majority around certain units, which will score you extra points, which you'll collect resources for, which you'll put onto your own tableau, which will score you a bunch of points, and then it just kind of cascades from there. It is very interesting to play, and there's a lot of unique different like patterns that you'll end up kind of creating throughout the game. But I had played this quite some time ago, and I'm very excited to now have a full version of the game to be able to play.
Do you play tested it?
I may have.
Wow! Now, the next 3 games I'm going to talk about are Sandbag, Xylotar, and Seers Catalog.
Ooh.
Now, what's beautiful about these games is they are all card games from the wonderful Bezier games, and they all are quite fun in their own way. In Xylotar, you have a bear. playing as Xylotar.
Need you say more?
Need I say more? But it's really cool. We saw it all splayed out, and you have basically the whole keyboard up. So I'm really excited to try that out. Sandbag, who doesn't love to be on a hot air balloon? And carts, in essence, are very cool in that. And last but not least, Seers catalog is the one I think I'm most excited about because it's trick-taking, but with a bunch of really cool twists. I remember Jay was telling us about this game, and my mind was just like exploding at the potential of strategy, the twists and turns that come in the game, and I'm really excited to play it. We have not yet, as you can see, they're still in shrink, but I'm curious to see which of these will wow me the most.
There are a lot of games that we still need to get through, especially from this Gen Con haul. It has only been 2 weeks, really.
A week?
A week, really, yeah. It's really only been a week since we've got back. So, having gone through as many as we've gone through, I'm pretty impressed.
Which one are you most excited to play?
Probably Seers, but Xylotar looks really interesting too.
What about Sandbag?
All of them look interesting. I just think I'm more drawn to this because we had, like, I listened to basically the whole pitch for Seers, and then we didn't have time to hear about these two. So this is more fresh in my head.
So Tyler just needs to get informed more in order to be more excited.
Okay, another game that's right in front of me, and it's called Kronologic. They believe this one is the Paris 1920.
Is there another city in here?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
But this one, for example, that's what it's called. Anyways, this game is a logic puzzle, and if you're familiar with Turing Machine, that's basically in the same vein of this, except now we've got some theme pressed into it that is like solving a mystery, maybe even a murder mystery.
Are you saying Turing Machine had no theme?
Not really.
It's a Turing machine.
I mean, it was a Turing machine. It was very literal in the sense. But this gives you several different mysteries that you're going to be solving, and it's basically a race. On your turn, you're going to be like going for certain information. You'll get information, but then you'll also share some of that information with everybody at the table. And from all of that, everybody has to kind of like deduce what was going on.
Like Witness.
Except not with words.
Oh.
With puzzle and logic. Yeah. But it's a really interesting game, and I'm excited for Ilya to play it.
I'm excited to play it.
Not yet. Kronologic.
Next one we'll talk about is Penguin Party. It's a very, very simple card game where you're building a pyramid of penguins, but in order to place a card above, it has to match with the cards below. There's no numbers, it's just penguins, and you try to make a stack. If you run out of cards, negative points for those cards. Bam!
Negative points.
Look at the penguins.
Beautiful.
It's a party.
It's a party. It's a penguin party.
It's Penguin Party.
Well, this one seems pretty obvious, but it's an unobvious party game about being obvious. The water is very wet. This is called Captain Obvious, and as far as I know, it's a competitive party game where basically you're trying to hide the obvious but also share the obvious. Is that correct?
Like a Captain Obvious?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really unique party game where you're basically trying to fill in the blank of the obvious.
Yes, yeah.
And it does kind of take a twist on its head. We have not had the chance to play it yet, but I'm excited to because, again, Lucky Duck usually picks up some pretty good games, and the production quality in this one just looks wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was one that we picked up at a press party, and we're excited to give it a shot.
Exactly. Now, the next one I want to talk about is BombBusters.
Bombastic BombBusters.
Not side-eye?
Bombastic side-eye.
Now, BombBusters takes the whole element of clipping a wire at the right time and puts it into the game. Now, you know who sold me on this game was Jeremy Howard.
Oh.
He gave me the pitch, which I forget now, but I was like, that sounds extremely up my alley. And then here it is, BombBusters.
And now we have it.
So I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to dive into it. I think Pegasus Spiel has been knocking it out of the park game after game with the same game, with Witness, with another one we'll talk about here shortly. So I have high expectations for this one. Will they be met? We'll find out in a future video.
We shall, we shall. Well, let's talk about Flip 7, because I didn't even know this game was here until I moved the last one. This is a push your luck game where basically it's almost like blackjack style, where one person is a dealer and they're going to ask you if you want to keep on pushing your luck. you want to push cards to 7, but the trick is you can't have duplicates. There are a lot of fun little nuances and different cards that will like help you go through the game, but it is a lot of fun. I love the packaging of this game because it means I can just bring it wherever I go. Super easy to teach, super easy to bring out.
Well, this is the promotional game.
Right, yes. The other version is like double, I think slightly less than double this. Maybe this one, I think. I was shown it, but I cannot remember. But it's a cool small box card game that is easy to get to the table.
It's cool because there's the number of the card is how many cards there are in the game.
Yes, that's
so when you ask if you have a high number like a 10, you may not want another card because the likelihood of getting a 10 is higher unless if you have like a 1 where there's only one of them.
Exactly. And that is flip 7.
Now the next game I will talk about is Oh My Pigeons.
Oh My Pigeons.
Now this was on our preview list, and it was only on our preview list because of how it looks. But we played it, and I'm freaking stoked.
Yeah, I will say right off the bat that it's definitely, I don't know if 2-player is the best way to play it, but it was still fun at 2-player.
What you're doing is you have a card, you have 3 cards in your hand, you'll play 1 every turn. What these cards do is ridiculous things. Your goal is to get pigeons on your little bench.
Fill your bench.
Fill your whole bench with pigeons. And you'll steal pigeons from other people.
You'll trade benches with other people.
You'll flick the dice to knock pigeons off benches. This is chaotic goodness, just like pigeons are. So show pigeons some love with Oh My Pigeons.
Yeah, I would say if you like Crazy Eights or Exploding Kittens, Oh My Pigeons is like right there with it.
And Ravensburger did give us a very nice gift, which I will show you right now.
Alright, next up we'll talk about now because Ilya has suspiciously pushed it to my side.
No, it was here and then it went over there.
Anyways, now is also like it was a competitive card game. I would call it more of a party game, but everybody's going to have like a stack of cards in their hand, and then in the middle there's going to be another card, and you're going to want to try and take that card by making like the closest match, and then you'll grab the card, score points based on the blue that you collect or the red that you collect, but you want to be careful because it evens each other out. So if you have 4 red dashes and 4 blue dashes at the end of the game, it's actually 0 points.
What if you have 0 dashes?
That's 0 points as well, and that's not very good. But it's very interesting. The number distribution in the decks are all like really cleverly done so that like you technically have a very good chance of being able to win every card, but it is like, or not every card, but in an instance you have a chance to win, but you have to be able to push your luck. You don't want to run out of your cards, and then there's this neat little aspect of, yeah, like I said, pushing your luck. Now!
Another one I'll talk about next is Lure. In this game, you're using dice to catch fish. And I love this series because it's a 1 minute to teach series. It's really quick to get to your table. We have not played it yet. I'm very excited to.
This is a new release.
It is a new release from All Play. And I feel like all the boxes this size have been a hit with me. So I'm curious to find out what Lure has in store. I know there's dice. I love dice. I love fish.
Do you love fish?
Yes. Just because I don't have a picture on my Facebook of me holding up a fish when I went fishing with my dad doesn't mean
don't
I
come
love
for
fish.
me like that.
That's the picture. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is Kyoto No Neko.
Fun kitty cat game.
Now we actually got to demo and play this one thanks to Auguste, who was very lovely and taught us all this, and we actually got to play through a whole game, which was really fun.
Yeah, very quick game too, actually.
Now, it's quick, it's fantastic, and it's adorable. You're literally a cat in a neighborhood in Japan trying to make your way. You're going to try to make some friends. Maybe you'll try to get some food. Maybe you'll slap a cat in the face.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hit a dog in the face. Maybe the bike will come and hit you. Nobody knows, except you, because you are the cat navigating the city.
And you're hoping that you can outskill and outmaneuver through dice roll and like skill building. That's pretty
My
neat.
favorite thing in this game that kills me is every time you step on the road, you have to flip a card, and there's these 2 bikes that go around, and they can hit the cat.
Yeah.
They can hit the cat But the cats are adorable. I'm so excited about this game. This was Tyler's, I think, most anticipated for Gen Con.
It was the one I was most interested in looking at, that's for sure.
Did it live up to the hype?
I had no idea what it was about, but it looked adorable. It is exactly that. It is adorable. It lived up to the hype. It's a little lighter than I thought it was, but that doesn't matter.
Because it's cute. And you have a top-down aerial view, which is everybody loves.
And the meeples in this game are literally
little
just like
cat figurines.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so cute.
They are.
Cats. Kyoto no Neko.
Alright, let's talk about Tranquility. It is also a Lucky Duck game, but this one is...
This is the Ascent.
This is exactly the Ascent. Because it is, I guess, the sequel to the other Tranquility, and this is a co-op game where you're basically trying to build a mountain by ordering cards from in ascending order. It gets really tricky, of course, because each player has a limited deck, and there's some discarding that needs to happen based on like the differences, and it's very interesting and really tough to get through, actually.
Jeff showed us the original Tranquility when he visited a few months ago. And I was pleasantly surprised how different this one was. I thought it'd be like just a reskin with like a mountain instead of what the other one had to offer, but there's new mechanics, there's new twists, and there's modules that add little mountain goats.
Yes, go goats.
Goat goat.
Yes, Tranquility, the Ascent.
The next game I want to talk about is Cuzco. Now, when we went to Adam, Tyler got to play Marrakesh, while I got to play Cuzco. And Cuzco is a delight. Now, I really, really like Stefan Feld as a designer. I feel like every game that he's produced and I've played, I've thoroughly enjoyed. And this one has to be up there for me. There's really, really clever dice mechanics in this game, essentially, where the core of the game is dice placement, and you can lock out certain actions by playing dice of certain value, of lower values. And it's really clever because you can plan all you want, but the player interaction in this game is just...
Yeah, you get stung by some player interaction. At least that's what I witnessed. And
there's not that many turns too, which is surprising, but there's a lot of depth in the game.
Right.
And I'm really excited to show this game to Tyler. And I love playing it at 4, and I would love to play it at 4 again. But I'm also curious how it works at 2.
Yes.
We'll find out.
Interested.
That's Cuzco.
Alright, I think you would do a better job describing this game than I would, but it is Arcs, and I have heard nothing but amazing things, like, all over the internet. It's from Leader Games. I hear it's a nice clash of Root and Oath, all of the, like, good parts of each of those games slammed together, and I'm very just excited to try that. And it's in outer space.
Cole Worley is a phenomenal designer. And I'm really intrigued about this game because a lot of it is done through essentially trick taking. So it's done through card placement and you take actions through it. The one thing I have heard about it is it can't be really mean.
Aha!
So I'm really curious because that's not typically something I gravitate towards. And if it's if you know the game really well and you can outmaneuver newer players, I don't love that. But I also heard it's really friendly in that welcoming space. The asymmetry exists later on with like the leader's faction and more as you introduce it yourself almost. Yeah. So, and I also heard the campaign is really good. So I'm excited to play it to see how it fares. And if we love it, maybe we'll dive into the campaign and see how that fares.
Love it or list it.
And look at the art. Kyle Farron is a genius.
Yeah, I just love this particular art style. It's so unique. And I'm very excited to try it because I particularly am a pretty big fan of Root. Haven't played enough Oath to say much about it, but this I'm very excited about, especially with all the hype behind it.
Now, we are adults, so we're really excited to play Adulthood.
Oh, Adulthood.
Now, the way that I heard this game described, and I don't remember if it was as a joke or it just came up in the conversation, but it was basically like if you combine the Game of Life and Ark Nova. Obviously, it's not as heavy as Ark Nova.
2 games. Just picturing that clash of games.
But it's a game where you're essentially adulting. You're gonna get energy. You're gonna use that energy to do good things and grow up and be an adult. Potentially get careers. Potentially maneuver what adulthood looks like. But it really seems like a passion project, and Johnny's phenomenal. I'm really excited to play this game. I'm excited to dive and be an adult finally.
Finally be an adult. I don't know when I ever will grow up, but I think I've done some successful things with my life. Maybe adulthood will be one of those things.
Will you do a flip in Adulthood?
I've already done that. Up next, we have Gardlings. If you're looking for a cute little bag builder, I would definitely recommend Gardlings. This is like I said, it's a bag builder, but it's like a push your luck where you're trying to like create gems through a different like pattern that you're going to be building on your board. It's like a matchy type thing. And then based on that, you're going to try and get more tiles. You'll put those into your bag and then you'll start a new round. And basically after that, you're trying to get 20 matching gems on your board the fastest. Obviously some luck is involved with this, but it is very cute. It's luck based, but it's a lot of fun as a bag builder, and it's just it gets those moments going where like you don't know if you're gonna be able to make it to 20. If you're really close, maybe you're at 17 and you have like 3 different tiles that you could draw that could go really good for you or go really poorly for you. But Gardlings, that is what I would say about that.
Fantastic experience. And there's gnomes. If you draw too many gnomes,
yes, the gnomes are your bust
they
thing.
take away your gems. And there's modularity for more expert versions of the tiles, which is really fun as well. Now it is from Align Games, who just debuted their 2 titles at Gen Con. And
which is this one, right?
The second title is Sparks.
Yeah.
Now Sparks kind of exploded our brains because you, as a player, only have 4 turns in this game. Now, we read this and we're like, this can't be right. Yeah. But then we played it. And it was right. And it's a lovely little, almost engine builder.
It definitely has engine building aspects.
Where you're trying to assemble different robots and you have little animal helpers and you're doing this all through dice placement. So the 4 turns are essentially drafting dice from the center and then utilizing those dice on variety sections of your board. There's many different ways to score points. There's many ways to scale up and do cool things. Yep. At 2, it was great. I do think this game will shine at a higher player count even more. Yep. Because everyone else gets to take dice on other players' turns as well. So I'm excited to try this at 4 because I do think it'll be quite legendary.
Yeah, it starts off as a spark and kind of grows into like lightning.
Were you trying to be funny? It was a spark.
Funny. Because the next game we're going to talk about is this one right here called Flash 10. Flash 10 is a game that we've played before previously, and it's basically I want to call it a dexterity game, but I also don't want to call it a dexterity game because it's like a speed card game where you're going to be grabbing different cards from the pile, trying to make an ascending line as fast as possible, but there's different tricks that are going to happen, there's different cards that will come up. You have to always place, so you're trying to race everybody and you're also grabbing from the same pile, so you don't know what's going to happen. And then you'll score points based on the cards that are in front of you, and you want to aim towards getting, of course, the most points.
If you want a silly quick card game, Flash 10 will definitely win you.
Exactly, yeah.
Now the next one I'm going to talk about is Quartz, the dice game. Now Quartz was not a dice game back in the day, and this is the dice version. It's been redeveloped, remade. And I've heard many phenomenal things about this game from many folks. We have not yet played it, but I'm very excited to, just because of the hype around it. And who doesn't love a little bit of quartz and a little bit of mining, a little bit of rocks and dice?
It is 3 to 6 players though, so we won't be able to play it just us.
So we'll have to make some friends. Do we have friends? We'll find out.
We should have friends.
Here you go.
Definitely have friends. We have friends. We definitely have friends. I'm going to give this one to you because I want to talk about Middle Ages. This is a remake of an old game, and I always forget what it's called. Majesty of the Realms, maybe?
I don't know.
Anyways, this is from the designer of Splendor, and it is an engine-building tile draft game where I call it a King Domino Plus, because you will be drafting tiles, and there are certain tiles that will impact your opponents. Like, they'll have to give you money when you play them, they'll have to get rid of a tile when you play them, but also you're just trying to generate as much income as possible because you want to be the most successful fiefdom. I think that's what they are in this. And there's a bunch of different combos that you can get going. It really scales up as you start collecting more and more. It is quite the fun game, and was definitely on the top of the top of my list coming into Gen Con. I'm very excited that we are able to play this one.
The production quality in this is unreal too.
Ooh, yeah.
It
Thick
packs
tiles, puzzle,
right into the box.
connecting.
They connect to each other, so you know exactly where one should go. It's also pretty self-explanatory, so it's a really fun game to play.
Yep, exactly. Middle Ages.
Photograph. I've always seen this game.
Oh, you missed the opportunity.
In stores. Look at this photograph.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I think that's a Canadian thing. Nickelback is more of a Canadian thing. Anyways, continue.
I've seen this game many a times. I was always intrigued by it, and this was a Gen Con where I was like, I must have it. And Photograph is now in our collection. I have not yet played it. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to.
Wait, is it an older game?
It is an older game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you choose your subject, wind the film, and snap the shutter at the perfect moment. Which scene will turn out to be your perfect photograph?
So you will be looking at photographs.
Exactly.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to play it. I love the art style. It's just very quirky and really fun. And it's designed by Sachi, so yeah. That's really cool.
Hooray! Alright, next up we've got Nekojima. This is the dexterity game that I was thinking of when I had previously mentioned dexterity games.
Oh.
Yes. Nekojima is basically you're going to be placing power lines on this island. And it's a competitive or cooperative game depending on how you want to play. Ilya's shaking his head.
I don't like when games are like choose.
Yeah. But it's really fun
still fun
to be able to do both. I like the competitive version more. But you're going to be placing these power lines based on your dice roll into certain sections. And then you're allowed to, of course, stack. This game gets higher and higher. And the goal is to not be the one that knocks it over. There's also like some tricks that go along with it, including like nests that you'll be placing on top of the power poles. So that means nobody else can place on top of those anymore. Ooh. And then you'll also be maybe drawing black cubes from the bag, which means you have to place a cat on the power line. You can't go having power lines touch each other. You can't go having cats connect to more than one power line because we know that's not good.
That's electric shock.
Exactly. So this game is hilariously fun. It's like, I feel like I'm doing a lot of It's This Plus, but if you've played Rhino Hero, Nekojima is like that, but with power lines.
Fun.
Yeah.
And yes, that is my pet peeve in games, when they're like, choose if you want to play cooperatively or competitively. But variants are fine. Yeah. Competitive variants or cooperative variants are fine. It's just the fork in the beginning.
I see.
Ilya's pet peeves.
Anyways, next game.
Kokopelli.
Kokopelli.
Now this is another Stefan Feld game. I don't know much about it, but I love Stefan Feld, so I'm really excited to play it.
This is a older one, isn't it?
It is an older one, yeah.
This is, I also don't know what it's about, but we were convinced that if we were getting Marrakesh and Cuzco, that we should pick up Kokopelli, and that's all it took.
In threes. Threes is a good rule of thumb. There we go.
Kokopelli.
And the next one I'm going to talk about is
Intarsia.
Now, this is a Michael Kiesling game, and this is a wonder of a game. You're essentially woodworking, rebuilding a little cafe, and there's little tables that you build at the end. But it's a puzzle game. You score points as you go. You score points at the end. And it basically, it gives me vibes of Azul, but in a really new and fresh and what feels like an innovative way. Also, all the tiles in this game are wooden, and it is a beauty for this game to come to life at your tabletop.
It really is.
We played this at the airport with the lovely Amy and Maggie from Thinker Themer, and it was a blast.
It was a blast. Were we rushing at the very end so that we could make sure we finished the game and they could catch their flight? Absolutely. But what would a game like this be without a bit of time crunch?
Yeah, those woodworking, it takes too long. You just gotta do it faster. Give me that glorious table.
We were just enjoying each other's company too much, and we lost track of time, really.
And enjoying this game,
exactly.
Because Pegasus Spiel has been knocking you out of the park.
And that is Intarsia. My last game that I'll talk about, and you can move your list of things.
My sticky note.
Is Pagan, Fate of Roanoke. I don't know how to actually say the last part, but basically this is a 2-player game. that you're going to be playing as the witches or the witch hunters, and it's just like this head-to-head. That's all I know about this game, to be totally honest, and I was sold by one of our friends that met me at Gen Con while I was at the events booth and was like, have you heard of Pagan? Because it's a 2-player game and I think you should try it. And I was like, okay, that's enough for me.
I read the description and I was very intrigued because it doesn't feel like a typical head-to-head. I think there's some deduction and really neat elements in it. And it's definitely probably right at the top of my want-to-play list. So I suspect we'll be playing this within the next couple of days.
This one is easy to get to the table for us, of course, because it is in fact a 2-player game.
And there's 2 of us.
Yay, Pagan.
And the last, but certainly not least game on our list is Nestlings. So this is from Tangerine Games. I believe this is their first game that they put out, if my memory serves correct.
It was on Kickstarter?
It was a Kickstarter a while ago, and now it is in
the
real world. Now, I've seen this game demoed and at conventions, the last 4 conventions we've been to, but I've never actually had the chance to play it or demo it.
And now it's out.
Now it is out, and I know it's a fun resource management game, so I'm excited to dive in and nestle in.
It's got some dice placement and everything too.
And enjoy it, yeah.
It looks fantastic. I'm really excited about it, and I've always been intrigued. Like I said, walking past it in conventions has always been like, ooh, we don't have time to look at that right now.
And now we do.
And now we've got the
hopefully.
Nestlings!
Nestlings.
Chip, 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 chip.
Now, this is where you come in because you should tell us what games you want to hear about, what games you want to see more about.
Yeah.
Because, hey, if maybe there's a few comments that say, hey, I really want to know this.
That's not a hat.
Maybe we'll talk about it more. Or play it, or do a how to play, or do a playthrough, or take a picture of it.
Anyways, you're welcome to leave some stuff in the comments below. We'll take a look. There are, of course, definitely a large portion of these games we are hoping to talk about at some point, and we've already got plans for some of them.
And some of them could be making our top 5 games in August.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because we've got a lot of games to play, and we've been playing a lot of them.
We've played a lot. This has been a month of gaming, and I love it. Now, on to our next section, which is games that we have seen, but don't have, but are excited about for the future. First up, T-Witches.
T-Witches, oh my gosh, I got to see this. The op was teasing it for their media folk, and I don't actually know a whole lot about it, except that the art is done by the same people who do Flamecraft, and you are basically running a tea shop.
If you're a T-Witch, it must be good.
Yeah.
Now, the next game that I saw a more upgraded version that we've had was Luthier.
Ah, yes.
And it had all the art of all the cards, and it was just, mwah. Yeah. I'm so excited about that game.
Very excited for that one.
Very neat. Now, another couple of games I saw from Devere is an expansion of White Castle. It adds a board at the bottom of the board and adds more dice. So it actually makes the game slightly longer, but without adding rounds.
Wow.
So that's exciting.
Interesting.
More dice placement, more opportunities. White Castle is a phenomenal game.
White Castle is
very excited about that.
Yeah.
And I saw Daitoshi. I'm
sad I didn't get to see it.
Cannot be more excited to play Daitoshi. It's part of that big saga that they have. So this is the game that comes before Sand. So before everything goes to ruin, essentially. Right. And you kind of witness that in the gameplay. There's a big rondel. There's a ton of modularity. I'm so excited about this game. It's going to be great.
Hooray.
Now, another one we saw is
Monkey Palace. We were at this Asmodee event, and they had a bunch of games for preview, and one of the games was Monkey Palace. And believe it or not, for those of you who don't know about it, it is a Lego board game.
And who loves Lego?
We do.
Us.
We do. And so do a lot of other people, which is fantastic. But it's this interesting little engine builder where you're going to be collecting the resources that are the cards that are in front of you, and then being able to place them onto the board to build this amazing little monkey palace. There's some tweaks that'll end up happening. There's ways you could change your engine and upgrade it and just watch it flow into this beautiful board.
I was nervous to see what the game aspect of it actually looked like, but once we got the demo and got the rundown, I'm so excited because The game looks as good as Lego, and that makes me so stoked. And I'm excited to see what comes out more, because I do hear there may be more Lego games in the works.
Oh, that would be exciting. Then I really liked it because you could actually just like leave the board up and then like, yeah, you can like turn it and twist it and however you want. But you can actually just leave it there because the ones at least that they had on the demo and the ones that I saw getting built during the demo was like, they started to look pretty good.
I do remember the individual that showed us the game, he was saying there was a story of when he was playing it and he wasn't sure where to place things, he just lifted the board and started like looking for the location, which like you never do in board games because everything's gonna fly all over the place. So it's such a cool element to be able to do that, and I'm just excited to see the innovation in board games continue.
It'll be a good time.
Now, another game that we saw that was there was a Lord of the Rings Duel, which is essentially a rework of the Seven Wonders duel system into Lord of the Rings. And it looks so good. How can you not love that? How can you not be excited? Now, I will admit, I've seen all Lord of the Rings. I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings.
Right, yeah.
But when games implement mechanics well into a theme or a universe that just makes sense, like here, mwah.
Yeah, it makes the game like a lot more accessible because I think people are more aware of like those types of IP, and then it brings them in, and then we can create this cascading effect of like what people will start to play. Maybe they'll start looking for other games that are like this, and it's very exciting to see when there's like that bridge, because I do think that the best part about board games is being able to like bring more people into it, and that's what I think games like this does. Yeah,
exactly.
We also saw, which I'm very excited for, the Meadow Adventure book, which adds a bunch of like neat, almost like modular things to the Meadow game, and I'm very excited to just play through that. We got like a very quick rundown of like some of the things that are going to be happening in it, and it's just fun little different like puzzles that end up coming out of the game that I'm pretty excited about.
The presentation of those games is just out of this world.
Yeah, it's like a folding book.
I think Meadow has some of the best art board games have in general.
It has very good art.
It's unreal, and the adventure book continues to elevate that with different themes, and like each module is super different than the last, so that makes me excited. And adjacent to that, from Rebel Studio, we did get to see their upcoming game called Pergola.
Yes.
And it looks unreal. I got a quick brief demo of it, and the mechanics look really up my alley. You're trying to manage a lot of... to be honest, I was really distracted by the beautiful board. So I'll show you some pictures, and you can make of what you can of it. I tried to listen very hard, but I was just like, this is so gorgeous. I want it on my table right now.
Yeah, there is a lot going on at Gen Con, so I do not blame you for that. I remember walking over and just like half hearing what was going on, and it just looked beautiful. That's all.
I'm excited to learn more.
The next game that we want to talk about is called Minos, which is from Board and Dice, and essentially it's this like Roman Empire-esque type game where you're going to be like strategically programming how you go through your turns. There's a lot of like different tracks that you have to go up on. There's a bit of like, I don't want to say area control, but like
area control-esque.
There's area control-esque, but the cool thing about it is the way that you end up placing dice. It's like gives you priority in how you are going to run your actions. The sequence of the actions is always like left to right, top to bottom. The way that you resolve them, although there are multiple worker spaces, is based on the dice that you end up placing. So which, like if you have higher priority, you're the one that gets to go first versus somebody else. And that can create like interesting cascading effects that I'm really, really interested in seeing, because simple actions like that evolve into something like much larger, and I think that creates a very awesome game experience. The simpler it is, the way that you just like flow through it makes it for like bigger and heavier decisions, but at the same time like getting through it is much more smoother.
And the table presence of this game is just wonderful. It's just very bright, and it like lights up your table, which makes me very happy. Yeah. Now another game we saw that we're so excited about.
Actually, you saw this. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, you saw the box.
I saw the box. Yeah.
Knitting Circle.
Yeah.
Now, we got to play the paper prototype of Knitting Circle ways back.
Way back.
And at Gen Con, it was very lovely because not only did we get to see the full version of Knitting Circle come to life. But we also met the designer, Emily, who is an incredible human.
Yeah.
We were really fortunate to spend some time with her. And I'm so excited to talk more about this game. Mm-hmm. It is just...
Yeah.
Flat Out Games knows where it's at. They make incredible games. I'm super stoked to share this one with you all.
Mm-hmm. 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 More to come, but the next game we're going to talk about is called Caution Signs.
Last but not least, on our experiential list.
Mm-hmm. So this one was really, really fun because we got to play it with a large group of creators, really. Mm-hmm. And the whole concept of the game is you're given like 2 prompts, and those prompts are like...
creepy giraffe.
Yeah, there we go. And you have to draw on your little caution board that. You have to draw the prompt, but you only have 20 seconds. And then it's the job of the guesser to match all of these cards together into the right order, and then you'll score points based on that. It's a fun little doodle game, party game that, like, in the right crowd is a blast to play. It was very fun to be able to play it.
Creepy giraffe was definitely a highlight because it was a giraffe. And then there's a person around the corner.
I think the easiest way to draw some of those things is always do like a this plus this. So like that drawing in particular was fantastic.
Perfect. There's a lot, and then Tyler got an otter from, I think, Monique.
Monique gave me an
which
otter,
was really low. I forget was it a lazy otter?
No.
Evil otter. It was an evil otter.
Yeah, so I accepted it with caution. Haha. Yeah.
Now, the last part of our saga of Gen Con coverage is the experiential part of it. Now, Gen Con is so wonderful because not only do we get to see all these wonderful games and play these wonderful games, but it is the people that we play them with and the people that we share the company with that we always look forward to, because we've definitely made a lot of lasting friendships, relationships in this industry. And it's always a highlight to enjoy a meal, play a game, or enjoy a laugh, or cry sometimes.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of meals with friends, we got to do a lot of games with friends, we got to do a bunch of different experiences with friends, and that's what we're about to talk about right now.
We'll start off with Danielle Standring's and Grant's event, which was I'm Kind of a Big Deal release party.
Yeah.
Announcement party. On a pickle that we drove around the city of Indianapolis.
Yes.
Now, we pedaled our darnest hardest. And we played a lovely game designed by Grant and a co-designer whose name is escaping me. I'm so sorry. Mm-hmm. But the whole promise of this game is you're kind of a big deal. So you get a prompt that says, my ability at snowboarding.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you draw a token that ranges from -3 to +3. Now, if you draw a 0, you have to tell the group...
You generally just tell the truth
of your ability of snowboarding. Mm-hmm. But if you draw maybe a -1... You say you're a little worse than you actually are. You under-exaggerate the truth a little bit. And then you do that, and everybody will guess where you are on the scale with the clever, dandy player boards.
Yes.
It's fun. It was a ton of laughs. We had so many stories. And it was definitely a wonderful experience to kick off Gen Con, because it's one of the first things that we did.
Yeah, I got to meet up with a bunch of awesome people, do this awesome event, and it was a blast.
Lots of laughs.
Mm-hmm. So this year, we were fortunate enough to be invited to a couple of different events. One of them being Landmarks and the other being Forest Shuffle.
The launch of Landmarks.
Yeah, Landmarks was really, really cool because we basically were a panel of people, and let me tell you, when we initially signed up for this, I wasn't aware. I don't think I had fully realized what kind of event it was going to be. I thought there was going to be 20 people watching us. But there was 100 people in a room watching 6 of us play Landmarks, and it was very, very fun. I was very stressed out because I had to be the one that was giving clues, but it was so much fun to be with the group that we were with. We really bounced off of each other and had a lot of fun just playing the game, but also entertaining, and that was pretty cool.
We learned a lot of fun facts, and Tyler did leave us into a curse.
I lost us the game.
But it was still a blast, and there was many laughs to be had.
Exactly.
And we're really fortunate for Floodgate for inviting us to be part of the launch event, because Landmarks is a really fun game.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, the other event that we've done was a live playthrough of Forest Shuffle with the new expansion. Mm-hmm. Now, as many of you know, we love Forest Shuffle. I think it's in our probably collective top 10.
Oh, it's my top 10. It's in my top 10 of all time, for sure.
Me too. And it's a wonderful game. Tyler plays it all the time on BGA with our Discord friends. Mm-hmm. So if you want to join our Discord, that's a good plug right there.
Ooh.
I do not play it because I do not like asynchronous games.
But that is a negative plug, so we'll move on to the next part.
We got to play it with Monique and Amin from Before You Play at a live playthrough at the Asmodee booth, and it was so much fun to enjoy the game in the midst of all the Gen Con busyness and rush of all the people, and to showcase it as well and to celebrate the love that we have for the game.
But that was a lot of fun because we were like really immersed into this little table that they had like put us in for everybody to kind of watch us if they wanted to. There'd be like people coming and going and like peeking in just to see what we were doing, and it really just felt like we were playing a game, which was a lot of fun to just like be able to have that time set aside to help promote a game that we love, but also play games with people that we love as well.
And if you have not played Forest Shuffle yet,
definitely, please
would
check it out.
highly recommend it. It is one of the best games out there. And beyond that, we've had so much fun sharing so many games with our friends.
Yeah.
I think one of the best parts is in the midst of all the business of the day, we do eventually come together in the big convention hall, and we get to play some games together. We get to learn some new games, we get to share some of the games that we've learned, and it's always such a magical moment.
Yeah, it was really refreshing because last year I feel like I didn't get to play a lot of games at Gen Con, and this year I think by day one I had already played more games than I had in the previous Gen Con, which was fantastic. I made it very intentional with the events we had going on, but also with like setting this limit of like I really just want to play games with friends. I want to play games with the people that are there that I haven't seen in a while. I really want to catch up. So like
meet new people too.
Yeah, of course. Like we had time to say hi to new people. We had time to play games with new people, and it was a lot of fun. So always look forward to that. And Gen Con was really good this year.
Now we'll end it off with one of our big highlights, and that is magic.
Oh, yes.
Now, we did get to meet the lovely Caleb through Johannes and Sunniva. And Caleb is a fantastic human, 10 out of 10. And we've got to play a few games with him as well throughout the weekend. But he's also a magician. And there was a charity show that he put on with Johannes. And I will link all of Caleb's information down in the description below so you can learn how you can support him. But here is a magic trick that Tyler got to witness.
We all got to witness, but I was the prey.
The subjectee of this. And excuse the sound quality because this was taken on a phone. But I hope you enjoy it as much as Tyler did with his face.
I'm still blown away.
Blown away?
Any other card is fine. You could look through and find a favorite one or just a random one, but it's important I don't know what it is. So
it doesn't matter. You've already lost.
I just have to. Where do I have to put it?
Just take it out of the deck.
And put it where?
Put the rest of the deck away, and then just kind of remember it. You can show it around, but leave it like so I don't see it.
Okay.
Okay?
Separate from the rest of the deck.
Yeah, separate.
Okay,
We're
stand
to
by.
simplify it because I've got 52 cards. It's a lot to
That's
follow.
not true. You have 48 cards.
48. Yes. But normally in a card trick, there's a lot to follow, right? So
Not
we're gonna
for
do
you,
this.
clearly.
That's right. We're gonna do it with just a few cards. With your card, and then the kings.
Okay.
Sleight of hand test. Ready? See your card clearly going in the kings, and it's going the wrong way. I'm gonna see if I can get that to straighten out. If I do like this, all the cards straighten out. Did you notice that they're all face down? Did you notice there's only 4 cards? The math doesn't add up, Tyler.
No.
Because like if these are the kings, what happened to your card? You didn't choose a king, yeah?
No.
Look, I don't even have sleeves. I only have the 4 cards, but look, in my pocket, I always keep 1 card. Nothing in my hand, but like in my pocket, I have a card. I always keep the 4 diamonds. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that what you did? Cool. Did you see it jump to the pocket?
No.
Okay, I'm not supposed to do this. I'll do it again. You're gonna see it go this time. Watch the 4 diamonds. Jumps to the back. Not as good when it's visible. Okay, we'll do it invisibly again. Ready? Watch. It goes in. That's it. A little diving board. Look, it disappears from here. It's not an illusion. You can see it's just 4 cards. Nothing in my hands. Nothing in my sleeves, but in my pocket, I always have the 1 card. It's always the 4. We'll do it one more time. One more
Does
time.
that do for a living?
Kind of, sort of. So I do corporate events and things, but my wife and I own a business. So.
What's the business?
It's a medical office. We own a family medical practice.
Why don't you do that with like disease and stuff?
I know. It's a very weird combination. Magicians are like, you have what? And then the doctor's like, you do what? So it's a little weird.
No way. Luthier is the best.
There we go. Yep. All right. So 4 diamonds. Yes. Hold the card. Feel it. Flick it. It's a piece of matter. Yeah. It's not a hologram. Yes. It's a 4 diamonds. We're gonna do test conditions. You're gonna put it back yourself, so we know it goes back. But put it upside down.
I apologize for everyone filming.
All right. Look. Very clearly. This is as fair as magic gets. Most magicians move fast. They do all kinds of stuff. Yep. Now watch.
Can I stand like this?
That costs extra. You have to up the. Okay. So look, this is a situation. You put it in yourself. Watch. You'll see it go. You'll see it melt away. These are the kings over here, and if these are the kings over here, I would give you one guess. Where do you think your card is?
Your pocket.
In my pocket, there's one card. Put your hand out, but don't look at that. Something wrong. Hang on a second. Sorry.
I was too close.
Oh shit. Don't look at that. I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. 4 cards went to the pocket. Those are the kings. Which Tyler means that over here I just have the 1 card. The 4 diamonds.
And that has been our Gen Con 2024.
Yes. However long this video ends up being, I feel like it doesn't really capture how we truly felt for the entire weekend. The week, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
We had a blast. It was amazing meeting everybody that came and said hi. It was great meeting a lot of viewers too. Like, really appreciate you coming and dropping and saying hi, meeting new creators, making new connections, making new friends. It's always an absolute blast. We have a lot of games that we're really excited to play through that we're just like really grateful for and happy to be a part of this community.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really re-energizing when we get to go to these things, because as busy as they are and as sick as we get when we come back sometimes, it's just so amazing to see like this community that we built, these friendships that we built, and it's just a reminder that we do this because we love board games and because they're fun.
And it's such an incredible experience to be in a room that share those values.
Yes.
With people, and like the energy is just unmatchable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a question of the day, what game would you like to play with us? It's a selfish question of the day.
What game? Yeah, sure. I would also like to know like what your favorite games from Gen Con that you picked up if you were there. Because there are some games that we missed and we didn't even talk about. So I want to know yours. I want to know which ones you were able to pick up and which ones maybe you want to play with us.
Selfish question and not selfish question. Answer both of them.
Yeah.
Or neither of them.
For those of you who stuck around, thanks so much for being here. And if you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give us the thumbs up. You know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, of course, please just let us know down in the comments below. We love you, we appreciate you, and thank you so much yet again.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye!